Good evening to you all, and for one final time this season, we are ready to go racing. Yasko's champion, that was decided by the stewards earlier this week, but we have a simply mouth-watering Constructors' Championship showdown between four teams separated by the tender margin of 25 points. Will it be Chevrolet, the leaders for so long this season, Europol led by Exceed, Ducati in their final race before rebrand, or the ultimate outsiders, RUF T-Mobile, who are the team that are, 25 points behind. It's set to be a fantastic, intriguing final race. And as we say goodbye to F1 23 as we touch down in Silverstone. It's the final round of 9 in Season 4 of Next Gen by JL, live from the home of motorsport at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. I'm Mr. Storm, joined for the final time this season by Tim, and I've only got one thing to say to you, my friend. Here we go. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
So, Tim, crazy race in Vegas last week. Lot of drama, plenty of safety cars, and of course we had we left the show last week not knowing whether Yasko would be crowned champion. The stewards gave him a penalty which would bring it to the final race before Yasko appealed. He's now the champion. What was going on there?
Come again?
So, last week we had a crazy race, and of course we ended the show last week with Yasko. We didn't know whether Yasko was going to be crowned champion. A penalty was reported on Yasko at the end of the race last week. A 5-second time penalty was given to him, which would have brought the championship to this final race in Silverstone. But he appealed it, and he won. So, what was the method of thinking behind the steward's decision there?
I think the stewards just decided it depended on loads of different penalties, of course. The stewards decided that Ryan's penalty was unfair and Jasper's penalty was later removed after some further investigation with some further information.
Well, here are your race results from last week. If you haven't seen them already, Bottas won the race by 3 seconds from Nikon in second in the RUF T-Mobile car. Ryu Zappu in his first race in this league finished in third position with 3.607 seconds behind Bottas. Ryan finished in fourth position for a bar. Fiasco finished in fifth, which wasn't enough for him to clinch his second world title, and still the first double winner of this championship. AFY, Marcel, Oscar, Marcus and Little rounded out the top 10. Bafta, Tokshane, Artem and Cuba were our DNFs. Here's the championship standings coming into this race, starting of course with the Drivers' Championship, and after a fantastic season for the Ducati man, Yasko was crowned the Drivers' World Champion. He's 27 points ahead of Bottas with 26 points still available. Nikon is in third position with Oscar, the best of the rest, in fourth position. Fifth place goes to Marcel in the Chevrolet. He's on 48 points, a long way behind Oscar in fourth. Bafta, Marcus, Little, Artem and AFY round out the top 10. Razak, Cludden, Ryu, Ryan, Cuba, Zomzed, Tisley, Forge Flame, Super Spider, Bulbo, Domi, Nibbles Biscuit, Alexander Delnik, Tokshane and Oxagrav round out the field in terms of points in the Constructors' Championship, and this is the big one. We reiterated at the start of the show, 25 points between the four teams. They are Chevrolet, Europol, Ducati and RUF T-Mobile. Chevrolet on 160 points, Europol on 143.17 behind. Chevrolet have won 3 races this season, the most out of any team in this top 4 fight. Ducati, interestingly enough, have won 2 races, all of course won by Yasko. They're in third position, 4 points behind Europol, with RUF T-Mobile needing an absolute miracle to clinch the championship tonight. 25 points behind Chevrolet in fourth position. PHM are the best of the rest in fifth position, 71 points. AFY even are in the battle with a bar for P6. Yaz Heat are in eighth. Ultratech, Toms and Yusk Fiat round out the field. Tim, this is a battle that we didn't really envisage for a while, but it's a battle I think that's captured the imagination, the Constructors' Championship. Who do you think's going to win it?
The Constructors' Championship, honestly close. I mean, Chevrolet are in a little bit comfortable lead, but we know all 3 teams are competitive. Although, if I'm gonna be honest, I think Europol might be the least likely of them all to win it.
Right, why do you say that?
Well, we've seen that Oscar has been struggling the last couple of races, and even though Litwa has been improving, he's mostly consistent, and they are too far behind to just win it on consistency.
Well, thanks for that, Tim. Before we get to the news surrounding Season 5 on F124, we will do a little bit of admin with the team news and the driver news. Starting off with the team news, PHMAX Racing will rebrand to Able JM Motorsports next season. That's been described as a dub move by two people. And Tom's Inc. will be put up for sale at the end of the season due to poor performance, basically, from Liberty as the team owner. Just a quick reminder that Tom's are in a very bad state at the moment. Joint last at the bottom of the field with Jusk Fiat. Driver news, a lot of announcements coming due to retirements. There are a lot of moves since we joined you last Friday night. Zomzed will not join Abarth for next season after Twix. Instead, he will be joining, I can't read that, Ultratech. It's just very dark in the font. Of course, it was announced that Zomzed would be going to Abarth, but that is not the case anymore. He's going to Ultratech. Ryan will instead stay at Scuderia Abarth next season, as he will be moved to a main driver in that team. Tisley has been fired from RUF T-Mobile after not having raced for the last 4 Grand Prix. Ryu Zapu will join the T-Mobile F1 team as their main driver for the last race of the season, and hopefully Ryu, for his sake, will be able to inspire their team to an unlikely championship victory. Sam Rose will retire at the end of the season, and after a pretty poor season for Fantasy, he's going to retire as well. Clammy will also retire, Cargo Boom and Huopis. And we also got the news that Alexander Delnick will retire as well after Alexander Delnick's had an absolutely abysmal season, really. Only 2 points for him. AFY Evian will once again wildcard for Ducati. But Tim, a lot of moves, a lot of retirements, some big names deciding to step down from driving. What's your reaction, first of all, to Alexander Delnick deciding to retire?
Not too surprised. He hasn't been absolutely been there this so far this season. He's barely driven, and I think he's scored only 2 points from the top of my head. Yeah, he's driven 3 races, scoring only total of 2 points.
So, we're now going to head to the announcements to Season 2, and we have a lot of announcements to go through. Season 5 will, of course, be on F124. That's a given. There's less than a week now until F124 comes out. If you've pre-ordered the Champions Edition of the game, that comes out specifically in 3 days, 19 hours, 40 minutes and 55 seconds. I'm quite specific like that, but 3 days to go, folks. Great news, and this is brilliant because it shows that we have a very big base now to do this. Tim announced in the last week that the league is now working on a second tier for Season 5. Currently, the following information is that the race will be at 7:30 Central European Standard Time on a Friday, a 35% race run with custom teams, and it will give the addition for Tier 1 teams to have driver academies. Further information will come later. Also, news came out on the 19th of May. The announcements continue. The sponsorship of JL continues thanks to Lit, where the prizes for Season 5 will be the following. First place will receive $40, second place $20, third place $15, fourth place $10, and fifth place $5. And for the team owner of the World Constructors Champion, they will receive $10 as well. Let me see, you can also create a T2 team as well. You can't own a T1 team. If that's the case, and we do have a pretty lengthy announcement here, which I'm going to read out in full. This is the big Tier 2 update that was revealed on the 20th of May. What tier you will drive in will be determined by a 101.5% rule. If you're within 101% of the time trials of the reigning champion, you're allowed to compete in Tier 1. That's a given. If you're outside that 101% margin, you'll have to compete in Tier 2. There's a 0.2 second of margin on both sides. That's the big crucial thing there. If you've won Tier 2, just like in Formula 2 in real life, you're not allowed to compete in T2 again the following season. You can't compete in T2 if you competed in Tier 1 as a full-time driver in the 2 seasons prior, so that means that we'll basically see no one from T1 who's raced in the past in T2. Academy drivers who drive Tier 2 can be used as reserve driver for their Tier 1 team without using the official reserve driver's slot. The reserve driver's slot remains open for non-academy drivers / academy drivers who don't drive in Tier 2. If you finish in P2 or P3 in Tier 2, you automatically qualify to drive in Tier 1 next season or Season 6, but you are still allowed to continue in Tier 2 as well. Tier 2 teams can have multiple drivers from the same academy in their team. And finally, Tier 2 teams can be created by anyone who isn't owning a Tier 1 team. Everything is still subject to change, of course. And before we continue, if you're still with me, let's take a look at the calendar for Season 5. And Tim, it's the longest calendar we've ever had, 15 races. We're just going to run through it now. We start on the 14th of June in Melbourne, in Australia, before heading to Shanghai, China. It's the exact first two races of the 2017 calendar, if you remember back to then. China will be held on the 21st of June. Then off to Imola, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix on the 28th of June, Sao Paulo on the 5th of July, 3 days after my birthday, Abu Dhabi on the 12th of July in Yas Marina. Then we have the Spanish Grand Prix and the Italian Grand Prix on the 19th and the 26th of July, before the final race of the first half of the season in Suzuka on the 2nd of August. Then we have a mid-season break for 3 weeks. We're back on the 23rd of August for the Canadian Grand Prix at Montreal, followed by the Bahrain Grand Prix at the end of August. The final leg of the season kicks underway with the US Grand Prix at Austin, Texas on the 6th of September, followed by the Mexican Grand Prix on the 13th. The final 3 races of the season are all located within Europe. The Austrian Grand Prix on the 20th of September, the UK Grand Prix at Silverstone, I don't know why I said the UK Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix at Silverstone on the 27th of September, and the final race on the 4th of August in Spa. Tim, it's a long calendar with a 3-week mid-season break. It's going to be fun, isn't it?
It sure is gonna be fun.
Well, that's all the confirmation you really need.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Although, well, things about the game haven't been too positive yet.
No.
But
POV, you're driving a mobile F1 game.
Honestly, I think it takes about, it's EA, so I think right around 2 weeks after release, the first big issues are gone, like always.
Yeah. And of course, we'll have the, during the season, of course, we'll have the big EA handling change, which normally happens, the Codemasters handling change, which normally happens a while into the game. 21 days to go until the start of Season 5. So not long to wait. The lobby is now open, and for the final time this season, we're going to do Grid Walk. And we're going to start off this evening with Bottas.
Then we'll have to move voice channels again, don't we?
Do we? Well,
Yeah,
I
we
think
do,
you
because
can.
I can't unmute them because it's a forced mute channel.
Yeah. I thought you can.
Let me try it real quick. But
Yeah.
I
I definitely think you can.
doubt
Well,
it.
while we do that, while Tim struggles with that, it is obviously an 18-minute qualifying session tonight. 26 laps. And so the weather forecast actually hasn't been updated, but I can tell you it is raining where I am at the moment. Or was. It's currently very gloomy weather.
You can't
We'll
unmute
hopefully
them.
we'll hopefully get the weather soon. In terms of the race announcements, the lobby is open. Marcel, Ryan, Tim, myself are in the lobby. The stream is also live. Hello to everyone who is watching. The start of the end. The beginning of the end. The end of the beginning. Well, technically it's an end in a lot of ways, because it's the end of the season. It's the end of an era. It's the end of a game cycle. And it's the end of, it's the end of something else. I haven't thought that far ahead, but it is the end of something else. Tim, can you back me up on that, maybe?
I didn't fully hear it. I was checking the weather.
Okay, fair enough. It's probably the end of something else. I don't know what it is. I haven't thought that far ahead. We'll see later on. Oh, also, during the part of the stream when we go off air, there will be one final special Storm sing-along to round off the season. I'm currently listening to some music at the moment while I'm doing this. It's like kind of having preparation for talkback in Europe. I'm actually going to turn it up to the full volume. So basically, I have music playing in my ear. I've turned it up to full volume, so it's like I have talkback going on. Like, how do I describe it? Presenters on television have talkback in their ear, which means that I'm incapable of hearing Tim at the moment. I can't hear the song, which is slightly distracted towards my commentary. But I suppose it'll help in the future. I've turned it back down again, so I can obviously hear Tim.
Oh, that's.
But it is it is slightly irritating, but you have to make do with what you've got. One final Storm sing-along this season. We're going to go off air. We're going to be back for qualifying, which will be getting underway in around 10 minutes' time. I'll see you then. Lads, they suspended the voice chat. We're all in deep trouble. Welcome along to qualifying for the final race of the season, round 9 of 9. 4 teams can win the Constructors' Championship this evening. And really, it's an incredible grandstand finish at the home of motorsport. It's the British Grand Prix to round off the season. Qualifying coming up. 18 minutes of fast-paced, non-stop action. I'm Mr. Storm. Joined in the commentary box, as per usual, by Tim. Tim, we had a lovely interval where I sang Shoot to Thrill by AC/DC, last one of the season, last qualifying session of the season. Who's going to get pole?
I'm just quickly looking through the list. I'm gonna say Bottas.
Well, if you do look at the last 20 pole positions at Silverstone, average gap 0.2 of a second in real life. The pole to win conversion, 50%. That's 10 off the last 20. And since the track layout was remodeled back in 2010, Vettel, Webber, Alonso, Hamilton, Rosberg, Bottas and Verstappen plus Carlos Sainz have all got pole position. Movement at the end of the pit lane. Final qualifying session of the season, Tim. Nothing like it, really. End of school. End of school season.
Yeah.
Well, coming out onto the track first, I believe, is Domi. Yeah, Domi making his way out onto the track now. It's been a very topsy-turvy season for the Hungarian, who,
Also,
of course...
I just realized something.
What was that?
We started F123 in this league on Silverstone,
yeah, we did.
and we'll end it on Silverstone.
Yeah. That's the duality of man, or whatever they say. I do love the bit of the duality of man, you know. But Tim, Domi's had a questionable season. Obviously, his team have been pretty muddled as well, as the kids would say. What's Domi going to do next season, do you think? Does he stick or does he twist, or what does he do?
I'm not too sure. I mean, he might drive. He might stick around, but I doubt he'll be able to reach tier 1 for next season. I think he'll drop down to tier 2.
He wins tier 2 and then wins tier 1. Trust.
Yeah, in Domi we trust.
Yeah. 17 drivers, or 16 drivers I should say, in the lobby tonight. Domi's one of them, along with the other 15 who are probably better than him. That's not an insult to Domi, that's just the hard cold truth of it.
Yeah, fair. As I was just looking around too quick enough in the Constructors' Championship, and the battle for P6 in the Constructors' Championship is still closed with only 9 points.
It is, yeah.
The rest,
it is,
I mean,
that.
the rest of the gaps are still very possible. I mean, 12 points between 6 and 5, but
yeah, I mentioned a lot of that at the top of the show, yeah.
But it's more unlikely to happen. The further down you go, the bigger the gap is. Although the points gaps aren't big, the bigger the virtual gap is.
Well, just to interrupt him, Artem's had a huge off moment, which means that I believe Skyscap will be the first driver to take to the track in this qualifying session. Artem with a huge moment. Skyscap gets this session underway. Chevrolet in the driving seat in the Constructors' Championship battle. Only a few points will do it for them tonight, of course. Bottas would love this gift in his first season for the outfit, heading for the first couple of corners on this track. Small kick of oversteers, he comes out of farm into turn 5 and then down the first long straight into 8th gear. He goes 300 kilometers an hour. First sector split sets a 27.341 as he comes into Brooklands and then into Luffield. Tight line through Brooklands, tight line for the start of Luffield. Will open it up, has a small kick of oversteer, but nothing too major as he heads onto the old pit straight. Fu Woodcote, he comes, will get into the slipstream of the car in front of him. That is his teammate, I believe, as he heads into...
One of the above.
Yeah, it was one of the above, sorry, yeah. Through Copse Corner he goes, and then in towards the S's section. 8th gear for the first part, and the second part, then we'll drop it down into 7th for the third, then dropping it into 6th for the last, and then final part. Small misfire because he goes down into 5th. 1 minute 2.419, I should say, in the middle sector as he comes up towards where Mansell passed PK in 1987. Stowe corner through 6th gear, 230 kilometers an hour as he heads down past the pit entrance and then into the final 3 corners off the track. 2nd gear for the first part of the chicane, 3rd gear through the second, and then up to the line comes Skyscap in the Chevrolet. It's going to be a 1 minute 25.680 to go to the top of the timesheets, Tim. Great lap.
Yes, well,
Coming out to the line next is Domi, who sets a 1 minute 28.5, who's immediately bettered by Nikon in the RUFT mobile car with 1 minute 26.251. Balbo goes into second. Great lap for him in the Ultratech car, 1 minute 26.158 before Bath Destroyer in the PHM, and of course PHM running a very special livery tonight, all purple, which I think is a very nice colour scheme, Tim. He goes into second, 25.9.
Yeah, sure is. I quite like this purple color scheme. I think I wouldn't mind if we'll have a purple car in their next season.
Well, Artem doesn't make the 107% rule time, which is slightly unfortunate for him, but he'll have another go. Here comes Ryu Zappu up to the line next. Of course, Ryu did a fantastic job in Vegas last weekend, finishing in third. Oscar goes to the top of the timesheets, and now, Tim, you said that he was struggling for pace, but he's pulled that out of absolutely nowhere.
That's amazing. I mean, we still got to see the race. We know he's qualifying. He's most of the time at least up there, but you see him losing positions a lot during the race. So
yeah,
let's see whether he can turn that form around here. You'd love to see that happen, especially when it matters so much for the team.
A lot of special liveries in the field tonight. Europol with one of the highlights. Ryu Zappu's just invalidated his lap after an abysmal start to his first qualifying run. Of course, the recently crowned Season 2 Turbo Racing League champion. Ryu winning his third championship in all of league racing. The two TRL titles have been relatively close, but he's told me last week that he won a championship by 150 points before. If he were to ever race in this league full time, though, Tim, do you think he'd be able to challenge for the title?
I think he would. But I'm not saying it will become easy for him. I mean, he's got pace. But we've seen in Las Vegas. We know Las Vegas is one of his preferred tracks, and he did great, but
he did.
Still, it was not like he just easily won there.
Well, Artem goes again. Artem slots into 9th position, 1 minute 26.873 in the Abarth. Yasko is coming around the first sector. He's gone past the first sector now, of course. The reigning and defending two-time undisputed Next Gen by JL champion of the world coming in towards Cop's corner. No pressure on him whatsoever tonight, but a little bit of pressure, I suppose, on his team's shoulders, looking to win the Constructors' Championship and do the ultimate double before they rebrand next season, Tim.
Yeah, it'd be great for the team to see, if I'm gonna be real honest. I mean, he's not got any pressure on personal level, but he's still got the responsibility for the team to try to bring in the Constructor Championship.
Well, he is flinging the car through every one of these corners through Stowe he goes. It's very close to that pit line and then in towards the final chicane. 4th gear through the first part of the chicane, 4th gear through the second, and up to the line comes the reigning world champion and the newly crowned two-time world champion. Yasko goes to the top of the timesheets. 1 minute 25.576, perfect way to start off your evening. Take us through Litwa's lap, Tim.
Well, let's see what he can do. I mean, it's already halfway through, over halfway. He's going on to the straight now. I don't know half these corner names. But it's 27.6 in the middle sector. Not too quick.
He does seem like he's struggling a little bit.
Yeah, it's not looking like it's his track, is it?
No, absolutely not. And of course, you said, Tim, that Europol probably the least chance out of the four winning the title tonight. A special livery could have brought them glory, but with Litwa's pace, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do it. Of course, Oscar's carrying the team so far in this qualifying session. Oscar, interestingly enough, is improving by 26 thousandths of a second. Well, it wouldn't be enough to take him to the top of the timesheets, but we'll see what he is able to do into the final chicane. He will come in, of course, the Europol competition car. 4th gear through the chicane. Up to the line comes Oscar. Will it be enough to go back to the top of the timesheets? The answer is no. 31 thousandths of a second off. Yasko is heading into the pits now, I believe, after validating his lap.
Here. Let's see what
up to the line he comes in the Europol, goes into only 11th, and that is very poor from him.
See, he probably not be too fond with that.
Special shout out from Magna Sheep, who is racing tonight. We all love a good bit of Magna Sheep.
Yeah, he's not raced this whole season.
No. Controversial character. I'm going to say he's racing for PHM tonight, but the livery is, of course, quite different to his teammates.
Yeah, but is it? I think it is the same.
I mean, it's mostly the same. It does look like there's a little bit of a colour difference on the timing screen.
I think it's just the paint finish that might be different.
Yeah, it's the paint finish. Yeah, it's slightly different, yeah. We'll compare them later on. Oscar coming into the pits, Nikon is on a flying run, so Tim, take us through that, as Litwa will come into the pits and a few drivers on the right laps to start their second runs.
See what Nikon can do here, as he's about to complete the first sector here, and it's improving by 2/10. It's a 27.3. This would already put him into P5, I think. If he keeps.
Would you say though, Tim, that Nikon needs a great qualifying here?
Yeah, of course. I mean, just like Ryu, who is his teammate here, they both need great qualifying.
Qualifying lap record, of course, around this iteration of the circuit, one with a 24.303 from Lewis Hamilton in the 2020 qualifying session, with 3/10 quicker than his teammate Valtteri Bottas in that session. Nikon with a purple middle sector. That's not real. That is fake. Yaska said a 1 minute 2.2 earlier on, but it is a decent enough time from Nikon. I'll hand it back to Tim for the final few corners.
Yeah, he's about to enter the last couple of corners. I mean, and we know qualifying isn't the most important on this track, but it significantly helps if you start up front.
Up to the line he comes, then it will be an improvement that puts him second. And what a lap from Nikon, absolutely out of nowhere, rocketing him onto the front row off the grid. What's his teammate able to do? He's heading through Copse Corner now, flings it into the right-hander in 8th gear, dropping down to 289 kilometers an hour into the S section. He comes flicking it from left to right, from left and then to right again through Maggots and Beckett's. He hurtles that RUF T-Mobile car like a knife through bottle, middle sector split, 1 minute 2.660. So Ryu does look like he's struggling a little bit, potentially with the setup, potentially with the car. Not going to get the slipstream of the car that's in front of him. I believe that is Bath Destroyer in the PHM. It is, yeah. Here comes Ryu then into the final chicane. What will he be able to do for RUF T-Mobile in his second race of the season after a very promising start in Vegas last weekend? Up to the line comes Ryu. We're going to 8th, 1 minute 25.979. And while we were waiting, Tim, there is a small difference between the two PHMs.
Yeah.
Magnus Sheep doesn't have like the little Cosmo livery that Bath Destroyer has in his Halo, but apart from that, the cars are relatively the same.
Yeah. I think they're similar enough to not be the FAA complaining about it. Ryan about to complete his lap.
Yeah, he is. Ryan will come through the final chicane, 6.5 tenths up, and his personal best will put him into pole position!
Well, lap.
Improving by a second! And Ryan rockets to the front of the timesheets now, with a 1 minute 25.330. And that's an absolute stunner, Tim.
Absolutely amazing lap there from the Brit. Well, the Brit, honestly, in Norwegian. I don't know, red, blue,
Sensei.
white.
Yeah, sensational lap.
There's so many flags. But
There are. Too many flags. We don't like too many flags.
the-
Guy's
the-
not improving in his
loads
current run.
loads of countries just steal the Dutch flag's colors.
For real, for real. Of course, Ryan, not in his home race. He's from Norway.
Yeah.
Bath, the team he's racing for, of course, the Bath are fighting for. Potentially, depending on how things go, P5, probably just for P6.
The team finished never lower than P5 before, so unless they do something amazing, it looks like they will have to lower the
Settle for
bracket to
settle for sixth at least.
Yeah, settle for 6th.
Well, Marcus has decided to abort his lap. Magnus Sheep has aborted his as well. Artem is a 10th and a bit down. Looks like he's aborted his lap as well. Domi's also on a flying run. So is Cuba. Cuba looks
Domi
like
is
he's also struggling too.
A lot up, isn't he?
Domi, yeah, 27 seconds down in his last lap. What a lap that was from the greatest Hungarian to ever do it since Zol Baumgartner.
Yeah. Cuba also coming in. Yeah, no car out on track other than the couple of cars that are coming in.
And Domi.
And Domi, but he is also going in. I assume he is.
Well, no, he's a 10th down in the first sector. See if he's able to recover the time. He needs to find 8 tenths to even get in front of Litwa. Interesting enough, he's quicker than Cuba. Charlie still
wasn't
hasn't
he
set a
like
time.
27 seconds down in the first sector?
1/10.
Oh, well.
Still could happen. He could lose 26 seconds in this middle sector. While I was looking at the other cars going into the pits, he might have had an off, so you never know.
How will he?
Oh, he's wide! He's wide! He's wide! Very wide. And that is a very poor moment
It's still
as that lap.
Still only
Yeah,
half a second down.
Yeah.
Easily.
Maybe
you know
maybe
it's
he had a
Domi.
big moment in the last sector. Domi can pull something out of the bag here.
Yeah, Domi. I think.
I have to say that was a very he pits. Okay.
I pits. I think
Right, so Domi pits as Nikon, Balbo, and Marcel all head out. Marcel will probably be the first of that three to head out and start a lap again. But Tim, 3 minutes left in the session. It's gone very quickly, hasn't it?
It has. Honestly, if Domi would have completed the lap, he obviously would have gotten pole if he didn't abort it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Obviously.
Absolutely. Trust the process, as a certain Mikel Arteta once said.
Well,
FA Cup final tomorrow, Tim.
well, if we're gonna quote Mikel Arteta, you know it, and you say trust the process, you know it's a fucking lie.
Exactly. You winning the FA Cup final tomorrow, Tim?
That's like asking Arsenal to win a trophy, the Premier League or the Champions.
Apart from the FA Cup. Apart from the FA Cup.
It's like asking Tottenham to win a trophy.
Apart from the League Cup or the Audi Cup.
Have Tottenham ever won the League Cup?
2008, Jonathan Woodgate,
I don't know.
extra time winner.
I don't know. I was
That was
three
the
years old.
last major trophy.
I was
That was
3
the last
years
major
old. I
trophy.
don't remember it, so it doesn't
Yeah.
count. If I don't remember
It doesn't count if Tim doesn't remember it. There you go. That makes sense.
God, poor Alonso, 0-time world champion.
Yeah, for real.
No, I did remember that. I was
Michael
born and
Schumacher hasn't won. Michael Schumacher hasn't won a title.
No,
Lewis Hamilton's only won 6 titles.
I wasn't existent yet, and yet I knew Michael Schumacher was the world champion.
Yeah, for real. All right, Tim, take us through Marcel's lap.
Let's see what he can do as he takes it through the first turn. It's a bit. Looks to me struggling quite a bit for grip, especially on the rear tires.
He's had a shaky run through. Velden Farm there.
Yeah, I think he's lacking grip on the rear tires. So
We'll see what he's
seems
able
like
to do
it.
at the first sector. He's up.
He's up a bit, not too much though.
Yeah, it would take him into 10 for the moment in front of Magnus Sheep in the PHM car, of course. It would be an absolute miracle needed really for Chevrolet to fall off their Persian bottle, I suppose, the only way to put it. The Constructors' Championship, of course, only 3 drivers have actually come out on the track now to start flying runs. But Tim, we'll throw it back to you for the rest of the lap. What do you think Marcel's capable of as he runs into a bit of traffic in the S section?
Yeah, a bit of traffic. I mean, traffic gets out of the way relatively easily, so that it will affect him too much. Bit
He's
more
actually
traffic.
he's actually had a fantastic middle sector as well.
Yeah.
And a great run there through Stowe Corner.
Let's see what he can do.
Let's see if we
in
can,
the
yeah.
last sector and what his lap time will be. I think
Oh, poor run for the chicane
Yeah.
now. Poor run, and that will definitely impact his time as Marcel will slot into 8th position. Straight over to Nikon, who's abandoned his run. Does he have the ERS to get around one more time? It doesn't look like it, so Nikon might well be out of the qualifying hunt here. Balbo's on a flying run. Yasko is on the hanger straight. Ryan's on the hanger straight. Skyscap's heading for the S's. Of course, who's else out in the lap? Magnus Sheep's out in the lap. Artem's out in the lap. Litwa is crucially out in the lap for Europol. Litwa needs an absolute stormer, a barnstorming lap to get himself into contention to help Europol fight for that Constructors' title. But we will throw back to Nikon, who's now stopped on the track. So Nikon will not go again, but we are going to throw it over to Ryan and to Jasko Kirill, starting with Ryan. 16 seconds left in this session now. Will Ryan be able to improve on his time for a bath and secure the final pole position of the season? We're about to find out. The main men ready to go. The session about to end. It does look like everyone will get to the line. No one will be in the Fernando Alonso Q1 situation in 2017. Yellow flag in Sector 2. Session over. What can Ryan do in that first sector at the split? He is 34 thousandths down. Yasko crucially will have DRS from DRS and slipstream with his teammates. He will be 2.5 tenths up in the first sector. What a start for Yasko, Tim.
Great start from Yasko. It seems to be as Cuba has to slot into last, and Artem only P12 for now. In the meantime, we also got Magnus Sheep who's about to complete his lap. Let's see what he can do. He can jump it
Only
into
10th.
P10. pole lap.
And crucially in front of Ryu though. Let's just run it around the rest of the track. Oscar's on a flying lap, so is Skyscap. Ryu Zappu is hurting his way at the middle sector. It's a bit purple apparently.
Now
Yeah, Litwa is coming through the final couple of corners now. What is Litwa able to do at the line? This is so huge for Europol. Only 14th, remains in 14th. Which means that Oscar is the only Europol in the points. Ryan coming into the final couple of corners now. Will this be enough to improve on his lap? It does look like Yasko's getting it. Marcus goes into second for now. Bulba remains in 7th position, but here comes Ryan up towards the line for a bar. It's not an improvement, but here comes Yasko. Will it be a final pole position of the season for him in the Ducati? The answer is yes! A 1 minute 24.9 as Oscar goes into second. Nikon comes up to the line. Skyscap goes third. What will Nikon be able to do? It doesn't look like he will improve. He stays in 6th position. But Tim, what a qualifying. Yasko ends the season, or ends the qualifying season, with one last front row start from the front of the grid.
I mean, if you take a look at this, we've got a 1-2 of drivers who had their teammates are starting 13 and 14.
Absolutely incredible.
And it's
26 laps to decide the Constructors' Championship. The British Grand Prix is next.
Yeah, the only drivers who are quite high up, actually both quite high up, are the P6 and 7 for REF T-Mobile. Then you've got Skyscap in P3 and P10 for WTF Freak. But the title fight is quite open with most of the cars either starting not at the top, or only half of the cars starting at the top. It's a subtop there for both RUF. It's just a pole qualifying for Marcel, Charlie and Litwa that basically brings the teams up front and at the back of the grid. So it's quite interesting to see what will happen and come out of there. So we're getting ready for the race now.
Judgment Day is upon us. Welcome along to the final round of 9 in this Season 4 of Next Gen by JL. It is the title decider, not in the Drivers' Championship, but in the Constructors' Championship. Tim, 26 laps to decide the season. What on earth is going to happen?
I think it can, like I said, at the end of qualifying, it can go loads of ways. I mean, we've got a pole position for Yasko, but its teammate is in P13. We've got P2 for Oscar, but his teammate is in P14. We've got P6 and P7 for REF T-Mobiles, not optimal, and we've got P3 for Bottas, but his teammate is all the way down in P10.
A tale of two halves for all the teams then, really.
Yeah, the only team that isn't split in half is REF T-Mobile, but those starting positions aren't too great either. That's just the same average as the rest has.
Final formation lap of the season. Let's see what tyres the grid are starting on. And the front 5, that's Yasko, Oscar, Skyscap, Ryan and Marcus, all up for the hard compound tyre. Nikon has taken a very big risk, starting on the softs. Ryu's on the mediums, with Baptista and Bulbo on the hards respectively. Marcel rounds out the grid, or rounds at the top 10 in the medium compound tyre. Magnaship is 11th on the hards. Artem, Charlie and Litwa are all on the mediums, with Domi and Cuba rounding out the field on the hard compound tyre. So a wide range of strategy throughout the field. The big story though is Nikon gambling on the softs, Tim.
Yeah, that's quite an interesting strategy. Let's see how it turns out.
Well, of course, he's probably gambling on having a blistering start and maybe being able to manage his tyres due to a VSC or a safety car. We'll see what happens there. Of course, this track does have a pretty notorious history with safety cars, and as we mentioned, 50% of the last 10 pole positions in real life have gone on to win the race. I'll just fetch that list for you now. Of course, there have been some brilliant winners of this Grand Prix. Of course, if you look back to 1987, of course, the Mansell dominance here, won in 91 and 92. Johnny Herbert won this race when Schumacher and Hill crashed out in 95. Luigi Villoresi won the first race here in 1948 in a Maserati 4 CLT. Emmanuel de Graffenried won the last race before the F1 Championship began in 1950. Then it was Nina Farina, Jose Ferdinand Gonzalez, Alberto Ascari, Godales again, Fangio, Peter Collins, Brabham Clark, Jackie Stewart, of course, many other drivers like Peter Revson back in 1973. Very accomplished Hall of Fame.
Yeah, quite a bit, and of course we've only seen 2 race winners here in the league. Only 2 races here before, of course. We've got Frenchie, who basically, that's I think the only race he ever did.
Yeah.
And we've got Bottas, who won here 2 seasons ago.
Well, the 10 polemen that have won this race from pole: Alonso in 2006, Vettel in 2009, Hamilton in 2015, 16, 17 and 18, Hamilton again in 2020 and 2021, Sainz in 2022, and Verstappen in 2023. The F1 23 era in this league began in Silverstone back in Season 1, and it ends here in Silverstone in Season 4. It's a 4-way battle for the Constructors' Championship between Europol, between Chevrolet, Ducati and RUF T-Mobile. Jasko is on pole position. He's the world champion. He doesn't have any personal pressure on him, but he certainly has the pressure of trying to win that championship for Ducati before rebrand. It's the final race of the season. We are ready to go to 5 red lights. Here we go, folks.
Shit camera, by the way.
1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 red lights. The final race of the F1 23 era. The British Grand Prix is underway, and it's a good start from Jasko off the front row. He will get the whole shot in towards turn 1. Poor start for Oscar as Skyscup will try and drag alongside him into turn 1. Nikon's had a good start. He's up to 5th. Marcus trying to get alongside him back into 5th position. Does get the move done as they head down towards Vale and Farm. Nikon back up to 5th. Skyscup and Ryan tussling for P3. Not many collisions throughout the field. Magnaship has gone down a few places. Cuba has also gone down to 16th. Yellow flag. We have a small collision at the back involving Charlie and Artem Lizov, but coming down the Wellington Straight. Jasko leads from Oscar in 2nd, Ryan and Skyscup 3rd and 4th. Nikon trying to get into 4th position if Skyscup and Ryan come together. But it's the start that Jasko needed, as all the teams that are in the championship fight currently have a driver doing well and a driver doing not so well, Tim.
Yeah, that certainly is the case. I mean, Rio Zappa losing a position while a position is gained by Nico on the start.
Oscar just trying to keep tempo with Jasko. Of course, it's so important that Europol get ahead early, of course. They are in 2nd position. Tim says that they're the least likely out of the 4 to win the title tonight. Of course, Jasko is in the lead and is in a pretty decent position already. Skyscup is 2.5 tenths behind him. Ryan is decent enough gap behind him in 3rd position as well. But here comes Oscar. We'll try and maybe get a move done into Stowe Corner. Gets very close as Nikon goes past Ryan. That's a very big early move for RUF T-Mobile. Ryan will fight it though as they head down into the chicane backside of it. Nikon goes into 4th position. But at the moment, the 4 drivers, the 4 teams that are in the Constructors' Championship battle are in the top 4. It's Ducati, followed by Europol, followed by Chevrolet, followed by RUF T-Mobile. The British Grand Prix is well and truly underway, Tim.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I think, well, as it stands, it's quite obvious it will go to Chevrolet, of course. Chevrolet has
There's a long way to go, though.
all the teams, but the teams don't only need to perform; they also need to hope Skyscup will fall down the order.
Of course, that is a big ask. Of course, his teammate, Marcel, is down in 10th position, so 16 points for Chevrolet as it stands. Currently, Ducati would be on, I believe, 26, I think. Would that be right, Tim?
Let me just correct you.
Because AFY is not here.
Yeah, it's 26 because his teammate is down in 15, so 26 did.
Yeah. So, yeah, 26 points for Ducati at the moment. Big moment there for Jasko, because he has a huge moment coming out of Cups Corner, running very wide there. Europol at the moment only on 18 points. RUF T-Mobile are on, I believe, 16 points. So both Chevrolet and RUF T-Mobile are doing quite well at the moment. But here comes Nikon. Yeah, Nikon's all over Skyscup, and Skyscup's all over Oscar. We might be going 3 wide into Stowe Corner. They come. Skyscup gets the move done. But here comes Nikon. Hangs it around the outside. Tries to get in front of Skyscup. Small bang of the wheels. Of course, Nikon is on the Red Bull soft-compound tyre. Will dive down the inside into the final chicane. Has to get this move done. Has to get it done cleanly. Goes for the switchback. Can't get the move done. Skyscup crucially into 2nd. Nikon's up his inside into the final corner, though. Has a small kick of roast that could have ended very badly. But Skyscup crucially into 2nd position. Oscar trying to get past if these two come together. Of course, this all invites Ryan into the battle. Oscar has a small look up the inside on Nikon. They do make small bit of contact as well. Oscar getting very close to the back of Nikon as well. Currently, Chevrolet would be on 19 points as it stands and would be in the driving seat in the moment. Here comes Nikon as well, activating the DRS. Will try and get past Skyscap, looks to the inside, gets the move done, and that is a massive overtake for RUF T-Mobile, who are of course relying on Nikon and Rai to do well in this race, Tim.
Yeah, Rai already gaining the position, but all this fight behind is just giving Yasko the opportunity to just drive it at all.
Well, really, Ducati need an absolute miracle tonight. They have only got one driver in the points as it stands, but he's got a 1.5 second lead in the early stages of this one. Yasko leading, of course, won the championship last weekend in Vegas. The two-time undisputed champion of the world. Small moment there coming for the S section. He really started to struggle. He's got a time penalty, and now this throws the race wide open because Nikon's in the net lead of the Grand Prix. Cuba's got a penalty too.
Yeah, we rarely see these moments of Yasko making a mistake and getting a time penalty, do we?
No, we don't. Of course, maybe. Well, I have actually noticed him making a lot of mistakes in these opening 3 laps or so, but I didn't think it'd be that bad to go and get himself a penalty immediately off the bat. Cuba down in 15th position, garnering himself a time penalty. Yeah.
I mean, he's getting it back with some slipstream there, but...
He is. Look how close Ryan is to Oscar there, and Ryan might have a move on the Europol driver in towards Vale, makes contact! Oscar will hold on to the position, Ryan with a very audacious
That brings Marcus
driver getting
and
very close.
Close to them now. That little
Yeah,
moment.
of course, Ryu would need a massive turn of fortune here, because if he gets past all these guys, then there is a very good chance IF T-Mobile could do the impossible tonight. Here comes Ryan, though, goes up the inside of Oscar. Oscar will try and hold it around, has the outside into Brooklands, the inside into Luffield, but won't be able to make good use of it. Remaining in 5th position after losing that spot. Will Ryu be able to get past Marcus? It's crucial that he does, and he will have the slipstream on his rival coming down in towards Cop's corner, Tim.
Yeah. Marcus is one of the few front runners, together with Ryan, the few front runners that are here just for a race win and not the championship. The team
Essentially just the vibes here, as Marcus runs very wide, and that might open Ryu, who will have slipstream, will have DRS, and will have overtake coming down the hangar straight. Oscar getting very close to Ryan. Ryan getting very close to Skyscap. Skyscap getting very close to Nikon. Ryu dives up the inside to get into 6th position. It's another massive overtake for RUF T-Mobile as Magnushuk falls down into 13th position.
Yes, if RUF T-Mobile could pull off the championship here all of a sudden with being 25 points down, it's rather unlikely, but if they do it, it'd be probably the most sensational moment you're ever gonna see.
Nikon starting to struggle there on the soft compound tires that come down in towards Vale and Farm. Skyscraper getting very close to getting into 2nd position. All this allows Yasko to build his lead at the front, only needs to find 1.2 seconds to get back into the lead of the race. Of course, Nikon has the net 1st position, but Skyscraper's about to take it off him, goes to the inside and gets the move done on the Wellington straight, as Skyscraper now takes the net lead off the British Grand Prix.
Yeah, seriously, if we missed already like 3 or 4 overtakes just
Yellow flag because Cuba has just been disqualified. Cuba's been disqualified and has now left. I'm not sure what's happened there, but Cuba's out of the race.
He drove the
Apparently
wrong way,
drove the wrong way. Apparently drove the wrong way.
I don't know what happened.
I saw he went off, but I'm not sure what exactly happened to him that he drove the wrong way. So Cuba's out of the race. As Ryan goes past Nikon now falling down the field. And all of this means dire straits for RUF T-Mobile, who were a lap ago. We're in a decent enough position now, only a minute later, starting to struggle.
Yeah.
He needs to get past Ryan, though.
He certainly has to.
Ryan looking for a Grand Prix victory, of course. Has had a decent start to life in this league in the Abarth. The Norwegian man trying to do something audacious as Nikon dives up the inside, trying to do something audacious himself. Can't get the move done! Contact made with him and Oscar! And that just might be those two teams out of the fight! As Nikon now blocking Oscar from getting back on the track. And the drama has well and truly begun, Tim.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there because of the shit camera angles.
So Oscar colliding with Nikon, and it now looks like RUF and Europol as Lit goes off the track. Lit was off.
Europol
are gone.
Yeah, Europol is out of the fight.
So it does look like within the space of 45 seconds, Chevrolet have this all wrapped up.
Yeah, I mean,
you never know, though.
We've got now. We've got Charlie in the points now. I mean, it's 2 points.
We do.
It is 28 points then for Ducati. So
yeah, and
if
of course
Skyscap,
they need something big.
I don't know if something happens to Skyscap, whether he use a moment or.
Oh, contact made there between Artem. Artem round. And that's a yellow flag coming into Luffield, of course, not the best drive for him in the Bumblebee car. Charlie's picked up a 3-second time penalty too, so Charlie, after getting into the points, is now immediately out of the points. So Ducati back to square one there, Tim.
Yeah, as it looks, we are going Chevrolet. Wait, I mean, look, Skyscraper is in P2. Marcel P8, that's also a couple of extra points. Skyscraper closing in on Jasko actually, while Jasko has a 3-second time penalty. It looks we are going Chevrolet's way.
Well, I wouldn't take anything for granted yet. Of course, Chevrolet in the driving seat. We have an off. Charlie's now going around. And it looks, well, no, Charlie's going into the pits. I think he might have made a little bit of contact with someone, though. So it does look like Ducati are now out of the race. It looks like RUF T-Mobile are out of the race. And it now looks like Europol are out of the race. Which means that Chevrolet are nearly home and host.
Yeah, Chevrolet has to make a big mistake for probably both cars. And then we need to see Nikon and Ryu Zappu going even further up the points to get something done. Especially Nikon.
Yeah, definitely Nikon needs a massive comeback. Bath Destroyer's gone past Ryu, Zappu's gone past us, Marcus has fallen down the field to 8th. So that's a big moment in this race as well. Boba getting very close to the rear of his TRL rival and might well be able to get past coming into Copse Corner. Using the slipstream won't be able to get the move done though. Ryu will remain in 5th position. Next up on his target list is Bath Destroyer in the purple liveried PHM car. See what he's able to do. Ryu getting extremely close through the S's. And of course we'll have DRS and we'll utilise a little bit more battery, you'd like to think, to try and see that move get done. Bath Destroyer, defenceless, only has a bit of ERS to use. Ryu gaining in a straight line. Will look to the inside and then to the outside, but won't be able to get the move done into Stowe. Corner Nikon goes past Magna Sheep. Nikon making moves. Magna Sheep powerless to defend us.
In the meantime,
as Marcus Pitts.
Jasko has been driving away actually in the meantime from Skyship quite
he
quickly.
Has, yeah,
and
I
Ryan
noticed
is all
that,
of a
yeah.
sudden there. I think it was.
Yeah, I've just noticed that, yeah.
I mean, I think that last time we checked, it was Ryan like almost 1.5 seconds behind.
Yeah.
I think Skyship
So,
must have had a moment or something.
just to get the update now. 1 Europol back in the points. Litwa is now in 11th position. Needs to have a massive comeback to get past Magna Sheep to get both Europol back in the points again. But as it stands, both RUF T-Mobiles in the points. As Ryan goes into 2nd position, nothing Skyscraper can do. And now Ryan is in the net lead. And that would be a story after Ryan had an incredible qualifying, but just didn't get the last run right.
Yeah, certainly.
Bath destroying Ryu, jostling for position as well. And Artem has now left the session. Artem's disconnected here, so that's big news for him. Ryu will try and get past Bath Destroyer. Looks like he's a bit too far behind to try an audacious lunge in towards Copse Corner, but of course we'll have the hanger straight to try and get past again. Let's not forget Bulba and Marcel are also chasing him behind. Nikon's 3.5 seconds behind Marcel in turn. 8 laps gone. We're still a while to go. Look at how close Ryu's getting though, Tim.
Yeah, I think honestly, if Nikon can pull something back and Ryan can keep this momentum up, RUF T-Mobile might be one of the few teams that isn't out of the race just yet.
Charlie's got yet another penalty as Ryu and Bulba both fly past Bath Destroyer on the hanger straight to get into 4th and 5th respectively. Ryu currently on 12 points, Nikon currently on 4, so that would mean it would be 16 points towards the RUF T-Mobile outfit as it stands. Artem's back in the lobby after disconnecting, so that's good for him. Bulba getting extremely close to Ryu now, Tim.
Yeah, that's very much true.
Well, we'll see what Skyscap's now able to do. Of course, he's only 4 tenths behind Ryan. Of course, Ryan passed him on the last lap. If he were able to get back into 2nd position, yeah. And maybe Bob will be able to get past now. Ryu may be powerless to defend it. Is holding on though. Nothing Bob can do to get past now. Gets extremely close to the rear of his rival. Goes right around the outside. Tries to get the move done around the outside, but can't. Ryu will hold on at least for another few corners. Skyscap can't get past Ryan either. Now look at how close Bulbo is. Well, if you're just joining us, lap 9 of 26. Last round of the season. Race 9 of 9, lap 9 of 26 in the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone. As it stands, Chevrolet would be crowned Constructors' Champions. And it would be a dominant season from them had that, how will that go through? Of course, Bulbo is racing Ryu for 4th position. Tim, Will he be able to get the move done? Artem's out of the race, and we have... Now, I'm not sure what's happened there, as Magnussen nearly loses the car, and so does Nikon.
I think.
Yeah, he's just retired, yeah.
He's pulled along the track, I think it seems to be.
So Nikon pits. Nikon's just pit. Nikon has just pit off the soft compound tyre. We knew it was a massive risk for him to start on the Red Bull soft compound tyre, of course the softest off the Pirelli range. He was banking on an early safety car in order to manage those tyres. That hasn't happened. So now Nikon will fall down the field. He will presumably go onto the hard compound tyre to finish the race.
Yeah, I assume he will do that.
Yeah, and he does, yeah.
And
he does.
It's easily doable, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I think Charlie goes past Marcus.
As I'm honestly thinking that the hard soft strategy might be better than using the mediums here.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
well, Nikon will come out of the pits, I'd like to think, in 12th position. No, he'll be dead last. He will be 14th position. So Nikon right at the back, but on fresh hard compound tyres that could take him to the end of the race. Skyscap still struggling to get past Ryan. Artem's now left the session for good this time after retiring just a lap ago. Will Skyscap be able to utilise the DRS to get past? We don't know yet, Tim. Probably not, though. Marcus is out. Marcus is out. Safety car. Here we go then, folks. First safety car of the race.
Nikon then. He just pitted, and then the safety car comes out.
Yeah. That's unfortunate, but Yasko will peel into the pits. So does Ryan. So does Skyscap. Yeah, just about Skyscap will pit and goes very close to the back of Ryan. So Yasko will pit, Ryan will pit, Skyscap will pit. You'd like to think Ryu Zappa will pit. He does. Barber will come in as well. Bafdestroy will peel into the pit lane as well. So does Marcel. Oscar 2. Magna Sheep will also come into the boxes as well. So that's the top 9 in. So it's going to get very busy in the boxes. In comes Yasko. He goes onto the mediums. Ryan will go onto the mediums as well. Skyscap on the mediums. And Skyscap hasn't jumped Ryan, who in turn hasn't jumped Yasko. Of course, Yasko still has to take that 3-second time penalty at the end of the race. Domi's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as the entire field now pits.
Let's see what Domi does. Domi continues.
Domi's going to be in the front-running contention for the win of this race. And that's a story I didn't think I was going to be saying early on. But Domi rise from 10th to 9th, now to 8th, now to 7th, now to 6th, now to 5th, and will come out, or will rejoin, or Ryu will rejoin in front of him. Domi has gone up to 5th.
Yes,
Domi's a genius.
Nikon also stayed out, but he only jumps one position, I think.
Yeah, and of course that's a big bet for him. Of course,
Charlie
stayed out. Charlie stayed out, but of course Charlie did pit a few laps ago. Of course, Nikon will be gambling on probably no more safety cars to the end of this race. Of course, those medium tyres will wear slightly quicker than the hard compound tyres. We'll see what happens though, as Yasko, Ryan and Skyscap all go for the mediums. Ryu, interestingly, on the hards. Not halfway through yet, Tim, but it's certainly been a dramatic start. Not halfway through yet, Tim, but it's certainly been a dramatic start. Not halfway through yet, Tim, but it's certainly been a fantastic start. There we go.
Certainly has. I mean, lots should happen, and well, with that Paul safety car timing there with Nikon, that just brings him back down, because he would have jumped some cars if the safety car. Well, he wouldn't have jumped them, but he would have been higher up the order if the safety car wouldn't have come out.
Yeah, of course, that's the big moment of decision for Nikon. He didn't think there was going to be a safety car, but unfortunately there was, which has slightly ruined his plans for now. At least for him, the field's all bunched back together, and we're sort of back where we started in a sense. Because now everyone's close together, the racing is going to get very feisty again, and anything could happen.
That's certain.
It is indeed. Lap 12 of 26. 15 laps to go in this season. It's certainly been a wild ride through the last 9 weeks of action. And the final curtain about to be drawn on what has been a fantastic season 4. Magna Sheep's gone past Oscar, but we'll let him past, obviously. But as it stands, here are where the main Constructors' Championship drivers are. Ducati, 1st and 11th. Chevrolet, 3rd and 10th. Europol 8th and 13th, RUF T-Mobile 4th and 12th. Chevrolet in the driving seat. Chevrolet well on for the championship. But who do you think will be the happiest so far, Tim, out of all the drivers?
I think, honestly, I think Ryan might be happy with the P2. Of course, it's virtually P1, but still lots of time to go. But Skyscap, I think Skyscap is quite happy. Well, a P3, of course, it's not a win, but that P3 will basically just secures the Constructor Championship there for his team.
Well, they did have a decent lead coming into this Grand Prix, and of course, Skyscap hasn't won the championship in 2 seasons, cruelly denied in the last race to Suzuka, as Diasco nearly goes off the track and nearly slides off the track.
Yeah, I think we give him a bit of a leg spy.
I think so too. Skyscap, of course, didn't win the championship last season, hasn't won it this season either. Yasko, of course, the recipient of the last 2 Drivers' Championships. The Golden Gear Awards, where are they going to be, Tim? Next Saturday?
I think they might be next Saturday, yeah.
Dress up in a suit and tie, Golden Gear
next
Awards.
Friday, perhaps, maybe.
Next Friday and Saturday, Golden Gear Awards. Make sure you tune in for them. Myself and Tim will be taking you through that ceremony. Safety car in this lap. It might well be the final safety car restart of the season. Knowing this league, though, probably not. Yasko trying to deplete a little bit of fuel in neutral there, just going within 75 and 80 kilometers an hour. He will control the field, he will control the pace, and he will get us back underway. Of course, he does have the 3-second time penalty, along with Domi and Charlie, who's got 6 seconds instead of 3. Here we go again, though, Tim.
Yep.
He is taking his sweet time. They have gone past Stowe Corner now. Yasko will gun the throttle, and it's a great restart from Yasko as well, who's left Ryan slightly for dead there. Of course, the front 3 are all on the medium compound. Ryu on the hards. Poor run for Ryan, coming out of the chicane though, as Yasko has extended his lead now to 7 and a bit tenths as we head on to lap 13 of 26.
Yeah, it seems like Ryu also then didn't catch up, and so neither did Domi, but Domi is no surprise, he'll lose position for sure, as he defends right now hard, but...
Look at him defending! Here comes Bath Destroyer out of nowhere! And he will go right around the outside to go from 7th to 5th in the space of just a few corners. That's incredible from him. Yeah. Look at Oscar though. Oscar's gaining, and Oscar goes right alongside Balbo, who goes right alongside Domi in turn, and Oscar's up from 8th to 6th in the space of a corner too.
Amazing.
Great overtake there.
Of course, well, that's the stuff that will happen if a car on old tires is up the field.
Yes, of course, Domi will fall down the order now with 14 laps remaining in this Grand Prix.
Yes,
it's the perfect restart from Yasko though, yeah. 1 second in front of Ryan. Skyscap, crucially, remaining with his rival in the Abarth.
Who
knows what's going to happen?
Also gets past Domi as well, obviously.
Yeah, Magnusheep is Domi's probably next going to be overtaken by him. Magnusheep does get past in 9th position. Oscar will go past Bath Destroyer as well, but it's a fantastic restart from Oscar in the Europol.
Yes, certainly has been. I mean, he's all the way back up 5th. You can't count him out anymore. I mean, of course, Lit was so far down that Oscar has to basically carry the team if Chevrolet makes a mistake, but...
It wouldn't be enough, 5th wouldn't be enough as it stands if he were the only one to finish in the points.
Yeah, I mean,
he would need 3rd or higher.
In the meantime, we've got Litva and Nikon fight him, but that fight has been stopped by a...
Domi! Oh, wow! And Nikon goes off the track, and he'll not be happy about that. Domi goes last position. Nikon, understandably not happy about that. I think to let him past.
And I don't know what that was, what happened there, but Domi just... They just look to be going straight, both Domi and Nikon. I don't know what happened there.
So now Nikon has to make up 5 seconds, so it does look like RUF T-Mobile are now well and truly out of the race, and it looks like Chevrolet with around 13 laps to go in this one have sealed the deal.
Yeah. I mean, they said that before with the safety car, well, before the safety cars as well, Chevrolet basically, unless they both cars make, especially Skyscap, makes a mistake or something happens to him, it's just cruising then, otherwise towards the constructed title.
Oh, Magnusheep's gone off. Magnusheep has spun off the track, and Magnusheep can't move. Magnusheep is stuck in the gravel, has reset to track. The Magnusheep and the PHM down in 13th. What on earth is happening here, Tim?
Chaos.
Oh, look how close Ryan's now got to the back of Yasko. Yasko's really struggled in the last few laps now, as Ryan will be able to use DRS maybe to his advantage here with 12 laps to go in this race. Will he be able to get into the lead formally now on track? Let's not forget Skyscap's also close to his rear. But here comes Ryan. We'll use overtake and we'll use DRS. And Ryan will go into the lead of the race. On track this time. Nothing Yasko can do there. As Nabarth leads the Grand Prix.
Once again, we saw it last week. We see it this week. Last week was the first pole position in the history of Abarth.
Which is absolutely sensational.
Yeah, it's weird to say, but it is the truth.
Contact! Contact! And it's nearly ended very badly there. As Yasko goes into the back of Ryan. And Skyscap's now 10th behind him as well.
Yeah, they're really close up each other now. I mean,
Of course, we said Tim though that the Bath would never fit lower than 5th position, 25 points. We'll put them in contention though, of course.
Yes, certainly.
Let's not forget PHM are doing alright, of course. Bath Destroyer there. Ryan will fall back into 2nd position, of course, does still lead the Met Grand Prix, of course, with Yasko serving a 3-second time penalty, but he might go up the inside again, does back out of it as Balba goes past Bath Destroyer. Bath Destroyer will look to get past for 6th position again. Right around the outside he goes, can't do anything for now. Balba will hold on, but up the inside goes Bath Destroyer. Balba with robust defending though, hangs it around the outside, remains in 6th position. So now we've got a fun battle for the lead.
Certainly have. I mean, Disco is of course back into it, but Ryan is on his back and Skyscap is on the back of Ryan. Although
Yeah, as it stands, Abarth would be in front of AFI even in the Constructors' Championship after their dismal race. Here comes Ryan though, right back into the race lead on track. Oh, Yasko will go under him though. Will he be able to hang it around the outside through Luffield? Small lock of the rears, which will cause him to go a little bit around in terms of oversteer. Struggles coming out of the exit of Luffield. Will go back down into 2nd position. Will be able to get back into the lead of the race. Ryan continues his onslaught, looking to get his first win. Big lag spike, Skyscap's disconnected, and the chaos has now begun because Balbo and Bath Destroyer have crashed with the old pit lane coming into Wood. Skyscap's disconnected, and now all the chaos is kicking off here, Tim.
it seems to be so. Just does Skyscap to not disconnect again because it will lead to people crashing somehow. Although it's having moments somehow. Although it's like far down the order.
Yeah, Ryan gets past Yasko again. Ryu Zapu now getting increasingly closer to Skyscap in 3rd position. If Ryu gets this move done, maybe his AI come together. Skyscap's back. Crucially, Skyscap is back before Ryu gets too close. And will remain, hopefully for his sake, in 3rd position with 10 laps to go this season.
Yeah. Let's see what he can do. I mean, he has to change from attacking to defending all of a sudden.
Which is very unfortunate for him. It does look like he's still in AI though. He is still in AI. He's not able to select his driver at the moment, I don't think. So here comes Ryu. Skyscap's AI, it looks like, doesn't defend. Ryu's into 3rd. And Oscar, crucially, only 2 seconds behind. Skyscap's still in AI, Tim.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
I didn't know that.
Well, very AI lines. It doesn't look like he's taking control. He looks like he's really struggling here. He's disconnected again.
It looks like it will be his.
Glitching out.
Looks like it's glitching out for him.
Well, this would be
That
the
is
perfect
really
ending to his. Yeah,
unfortunate.
this would be the perfect ending
And,
for the F123 era for him.
he's-
Skyscap's back again.
let's
Will he
see.
be able to get
In the
back
meantime,
into his car though?
Ryan is back into the lead.
Yeah, Ryan is back in the lead. Skyscap still hasn't got out of AI, and now Oscar might be able to get into 4th position. Skyscap still
the
struggling with connection issues.
As if real honest, I think the Chevrolet curse might strike again. Chevrolet is by far the unluckiest team we've ever had here. Their luck has been insanely shit, and it looks to be finally the turnaround season for them, and even then it looks to be going so wrong.
Oscar just has to make the move. Skyscap still in AI. Oscar has to get this move done very quickly. Let's not forget that Marcel is 5 seconds behind him in turn. It does look like now... still, yes, Skyscap's back. Skyscap is back. Crucially in the nick of time to remain from losing 4th position. But Oscar now is so close to the back of him, Tim.
Yeah, and honestly, he's on. He's not on.
Yellow flag because Charlie's gone off the track, coming down the Wellington straight.
Oh, that's poor for his team, for the team he's wildcarding for as well, of course.
Absolutely, really struggling now
I
for
just
Ducati.
noticed Bottas is of course not all the way down there, so that's poor for PHM, P11, P12. That would, I think currently with Ryan in the lead, it would hand
Yeah,
P
bar 5th position, yeah.
5th position.
And what a comeback that'd be. Yasko gaining though in the straight, wants to get the lead of the race back on the track, has a small look to the inside, doesn't make the move, but here comes Oscar, will be forced to go the long way around on Skyscap, contact made! This is a massive overtake for Europol. If they can get this done, then maybe, just maybe, the Constructors' Championship fight gets reignited, although it does seem very unlikely.
I mean, they need to gain how many points on
13.
So,
13, 14.
let's see, on race wins, of course.
Yellow flag, Bobo's around. Bobo has spun, coming out of
that's
Stoke
so
Corner. It
lame.
does look like there has been contact though. So Charlie now gaining on him, Bobo going... Oh, Charlie pits. Charlie has pit.
Yes, well, Europol, that's the gap is... is it 7? Yes, the gap is
now, yeah.
17 points there for Europol. So
Yeah.
they need to gain 18 points at least, because, well, you've got the race wins, of course, but those are in the favor of Chevrolet.
It's very, very poor at the moment. Chevrolet needed their opponents not to turn up
Only-
tonight and for them
only
to have
team
an
that
easy
could-
race, and that's happened.
The only team that could win it on countback would be Ducati if they win here. If Ducati wins it, they could win it on countback because they've got more P2s than Chevrolet has. Unless Chevrolet gets P2 here, then it would depend on P3, and that's also equal. So it would be a quite horrible countback to do.
We don't like countback. Unless it's for the top 3 positions, then we like it. Yasko gets back into the lead. He might just have heard that news, depending on if he's listening to the stream now, or whether he's watching us. He needs to find 3 seconds in the last 7 laps of this race to maybe send it to countback and give Ducati the most unlikely Constructors' Championship. Can he do it, Tim?
Well, it would be impressive, that's for sure.
Ryan would need to have a massive slip up here. What would 3rd place do at the moment for Skyscap? Would that give it to Chevrolet?
P3, I think Chevrolet. The Chevrolet has it in hands right now, so
Okay, fair enough.
Chevrolet has got, I think, the most total team points, and if they don't have it, they've got more than enough.
There is simply nothing that Ducati can do now at the moment. There's simply nothing Yasko can do either to defend from Ryan. Ryan in that above has been an absolute wrecking ball in terms of his pace tonight. He's been absolutely fantastic, and this would be a well-deserved way to round out the season for Abaf and for the Norwegian driver in his first season.
And the Magnaship is in P10 right now. That would bring it to a difference of 3 points between with Abad outperforming PHM by 3 points if Ryan would be able to pull this win off. Depending
Domi
on
received a 5-second time penalty a few seconds ago for speeding in the pit lane. Yasko will get right back into the lead of the race on track. Of course, still needs to gain 3 seconds to go on and win this race. 5 laps will be left after lap 21. 6 to go here in Silverstone in the last 6 laps of what has been a fantastic season.
That is certain, as well, it's fun to see because of course we've currently got 2 drivers who are battling for the lead, but those 2 drivers are also battling for higher positions in the constructor standings as well.
Let's not forget though that if Yasko did finish where he's finishing at the moment, he would finish, that's a very, very big tongue twister, he would finish the race in 3rd position as it stands, depending on whether Ryan can keep that 2.3 second gap. Here comes Ryan again, and on the same straight he's always got it done on, he gets it done again. Will Yasko be able to get it done on the hanger straight? You'd like to think so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's this long fight is most definitely in favor of Ryan, of course. Ryan probably doesn't mind this fight too much as long as nothing happens, because he knows virtually he's still got the position. And how longer they're engaged in this fight, the lesser the chance becomes for Yasko to run away, meaning Ryan will win it either way.
Yeah, now look how close Skyscap is to Ryu, of course. Two TRL rivals warring again in an... Will Skyscap be able to get past Ryu Zapu? It looks like he will be able to, and he gets into fair position as Yasko goes right past Ryan again, the same straight as always. Nearly makes contact. Ryan has a small slide. Maybe the pressure starting to show for both of these drivers at the front, as now Skyscap will be in net P2.
Yeah, I mean,
Magneshoot gets a penalty. Magneshoot gets a penalty, and you'd like to think that's now it for PHM.
Yeah, that's...
And their very slim chance of getting 5th place in the constructors standings is now over, unless Ryan finishes 2nd in this race. With Skyscap closing up on the back of them, that could just happen, you never know.
You never know, although you don't have to forget, Skyscap has to still... I mean, the gap is a bit bigger, but he still has a bit...
He's closing it up very... He's closing very quickly, though.
Yeah, he is closing quickly. I don't know why he's getting the pace from. You would expect Ryozapu to get the pace instead, but he looks to be losing a bit of pace.
Oh, yellow flag. Charlie has gone off at the S section. I'm not sure how on earth he's done that, but Domi might be able to race someone in potentially his final T1 race before T2 forms next season.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting. So yes, with just, what is it? Less than 5 laps to go. And we've got less than 5 laps to go, and Skyscap P3, P6 for Marcel. It could even get better for them, and not for Marcel, to be honest. That's 13 seconds, but for Skyscap it could even get a higher position. Even if he loses the 2 positions, I think that it's probably still a Chevrolet.
Advantage Ryan. Yasko hasn't got past on the hangar straight, and if Ryan's able to get away now, which doesn't look very likely seeing as how quick the 2 at the front have been, Yasko might be able to pray that something has to happen here, as Ryan is a maximum chicane. Ryan holding on though, yellow flag. Now Bath Destroyer has gone off. As Domigo and Charlie are battling, they do make contact. Domi has slid off the track. Bath Destroyer though has had a moment, and PHM were 5th, now down to 6th. And Bath Destroyer really struggling now, as he's slipping and sliding all throughout the S, is drifting through it like Tokyo Drift. Has managed to keep you on the track though.
Yeah.
Looks like Charlie's actually waited up for Domi after punting him off the track, which is quite nice for the Ducati driver.
I mean, they're fighting for basically nothing anyway, so...
Yeah, and Bath Destroyer's gone off again. Bath Destroyer spun once again.
That's just... PHM is just... They've got
They've
Magneshoot in P10, and even if Magneshoot gets an overtake done, he's...
Charlie's off the track now. Charlie's spun again. It's not too late for a safety car. Let's not forget that. They probably take another lap for the safety car now to not come out at all. There's a retirement. But anything could still happen here. As Bath Destroyer once again is struggling.
It could still happen, but I don't see anyone...
Charlie's off again. Charlie's spun again. Charlie's reset the track of his own accord now. I'm not sure if that'll get him disqualified. But now, the front 2 are now going to lap him. As Charlie actually pits now. Charlie's actually gone and pit now.
Yeah.
Yasko is going to be very angry seeing that, though.
Yasko wouldn't be too happy. I mean, he was far down anyway, but... Yasko knows he's out of the fight with his team.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone basically on track knows the fight is over.
Yeah.
Nothing
Unless something absolutely extraordinary happens. Yeah, nothing's going to happen. Yeah.
And then still, it would be... Still, Yasko... If something happens to both Chevrolet and Yasko would win, then it would immediately be Ducati's title. Unless Europol or UF outperforms there again, but I doubt that.
Yeah.
Especially seeing...
Yellow flag. Bath Destroyer is slipping and sliding like a sloth. I don't know if sloths slip and slide often, just the alliteration sounded nice. He's really struggling down in 11th. Domi might be able to finish 11th. Say if what? 3 laps to go. 2.5 laps to go, to be oddly specific.
Yeah, as it looks to
in what has been a brilliant season.
Ways. I mean, it's a solid podium, looks to be going their way.
It'll be P2. It'll be P2 for Skyscap.
P2 even, yeah, and of course a P6 there for Marcel. This is a solid result for the team, especially what they need here. Just a solid, consistent drive, nothing crazy. And it looks to be going all their way.
2 laps to go in this season. We started off 9 weeks ago in Qatar with a brilliant race. Then we headed to Suzuka. Skyscap won that race. Then we headed to Austria, where Jasko picked up his first win of the season. The Italian Grand Prix, Oscar came back from out of nowhere to win that race. Zandvoort was interrupted by connection issues. Nikon came home to win that one. In Belgium, it was Bottas's race. In Canada, it was Jasko's, and that was essentially the title decider after Bottas retired. In Vegas last week, Bottas won, but it wasn't enough. One last race, 2 last laps to decide where everything's going to go. It looks, though, that Chevrolet have finally done enough.
Yeah, it looks to be the case, and that is great for them, as Bottas is now behind Domi even. Although Domi's got more penalties, but PHM race is horrendous. And Magnucci's diving into the pits now.
Is that a fastest lap attempt? Maybe.
I don't know, it might be.
Depending on what happens, that could actually be quite big for PHM. Probably not result in much. But Season 1 Constructor Standings winners. JL by 3 points from Honda. Honda, of course, are well and truly gone. Season 2 AKK. Chevrolet in 4th in Season 1, 7th in Season 2. Last season, it wasn't theirs. They finished all the way down in 8th. But it's only going to take them about 1 minute and 45 seconds to win their first Constructors' Standings. And oh my word, Tim, is it long overdue.
Yeah, and Skyscraper losing the position into Rio. I mean, it doesn't matter too much.
No.
Also Massa in P7, they're just falling down the order now on the last laps. But they're too far up still. They're still too far up to be actually in danger of losing the title.
Yeah. Well, it does look like Ryan has done enough regardless of what Jasko does on track. He'd need to find 3 seconds on this final lap, but it has been an absolutely brilliant journey.
It looks like Jasko might be just running away. Jasko and Ryan might be just run away just far enough for Jasko to get P2 in the race. Look at that.
And that would be quite interesting as well, because then Chevrolet would be 4th and 7th, but it'd still be enough to win the Constructors' Championship. But it does add a little bit of uncertainty to it, regardless of what happens, but it doesn't look like anything major is going to happen. Well, this season started all the way back on the 29th of March, if you can believe it. And now on the 24th of May, nearly 2 whole months later, this season finally comes to its thrilling conclusion. And we are now within the final sector of Season 4 and the final sector of F123. This season has been absolutely brilliant. This league started out at Silverstone in Season 1. The very first race was at this track. It has gone through so much controversy and change, but this season has simply been sensational as Jasko will go around the outside trying to take the lead on track. But none of it will matter as he does make contact! Jasko's nearly around, but it will not matter! Because a Norwegian in the Barth is going to win the British Grand Prix and will do enough to get a Barth 5th in the Constructors' Championship. Ryan wins at Silverstone, Jasko finishes 2nd. But Skyscap is 3rd and seals the Constructors' Championship for Chevrolet and ends their 3-season hoot. Skyscap 3rd on track, 2nd in the final order. Jasko 3rd, Ryu 4th. Oscar crashes across the line, finishes in 5th. Marcel is 6th. And with that, it's the official confirmation that Chevrolet are the Season 4 Next Gen by JL World Constructors' Championship winners. Congratulations to them. Nikon in 7th wasn't to be. Rival Europol, RUFT Mobile, or Ducati before they rebrand. But Tim, what a final race of the season, and a well-deserved ending for Chevrolet as they finally break their hoodoo.
Yeah, as Magnucci is pulling purple after purple on the track here. He's going for the fastest lap, and he is being quick.
He might well get us. He might well get it. We'll
might
see
well
what
get it.
Magnucci is able to do. Yeah,
We
this
know
would be
he
great for
reached
Magnucci.
We know he's reached to track, so even that could hinder it.
Well, Magnucci, of course, he was stuck in the gravel, so maybe the FIA will see a bit of lenience, and that will be the fast lap for Magnucci. The answer is yes, it is. But it will not be enough for 5th place in the Constructors' Standings. Ryan has just about done enough for a Barth, who keep their top 5 streak alive for the 4th season in a row. Bath Destroyer will finish in 11th for PHM, Domi and Charlie 12th and 13th. But that is it, folks. After 9 races, we have our Drivers' Champion in Jasko, and we have our Constructors' Champion in Chevrolet. Tim, what a race, and what a season.
Yeah, for sure.
And finally, it's glory and it's Elysium for Bottas and for Marcel and for Chevrolet. Exceed saying it might have been the smoothest next gen season, I haven't been here from any of them, but I certainly can say that this was an absolute pleasure. And Tim, thank you very much for being with me for these 9 races.
Yeah, it has been a enjoyment to be along with you as well.
Let's not forget that Bath Destroyer's also picked up a puncture as well, so he's Lightning McQueen close to the line here.
Look, he's still not finished. He was 30 seconds down. He's almost 1 minute and 30 seconds down by now.
Yeah, and he spins across the line and that will do it. As his tire delaminates, like Lewis Hamilton in 2020. Bath Destroyer finishes 11th as PHM throwaway 5th in the Constructors' standings. Still penalties to be applied, of course, but it doesn't look like they will matter much. Litwa gets the final drive of the day of the season, in the game at least. But here is your final podium of Season 4. And after a little bit of heartbreak earlier on this campaign, it is a final first win of the season. And the final and the first win in his career. For the one, the only, it's Ryan F1. Final race order, final race classification of the season. After 41 minutes, 19 seconds, and 0.6 of a second, it is Ryan who clinches victory in Silverstone. Skyscraper finishing in second for Chevrolet, with his teammate Marcel in sixth, sealing their Constructors' Championship. Yasko is in third position in the Ducati, too little too late for the Italian outfit who now rebrand. Ryu is in fourth in his final race, it looks like. Oscar, Marcel, Nikon Litwa, Bob and Magnucci rounding out the top 10. Bath Destroyer finished 11th, over 2 minutes behind the eventual race winner. Domi finishing down in 12th position, with Charlie in 13th, both 1 lap behind. Marcus, Artem and Cuba were our retirements, but that is all she wrote. That is Season 4 of Next Gen by JL Tim.
What a season it has been.
Indeed. We'll have a little bit more reaction and a little bit more analysis before we finish up the show for tonight. But what a season that was. 9 weeks of brilliant racing that sees Ducati win the driver's title and Chevrolet win the constructor's title.
Amazing stuff. It was.
Absolutely. And also, it's very important to note we didn't even get a wet race at all this season. Which I think is a great achievement in itself. No rain in the Middle East, in North America, or in Europe at all. Maybe we'll see a bit of rain in Season 5. We will remind you of the calendar now. We are back in 21 days' time for the Australian Grand Prix. And we end on the 4th of October, nearly 3 months, or nearly, nearly 4 months later, I should say, for the Belgian Grand Prix on the 4th of October. We'll have a full roundup of what's coming up next season at the end of the show. We're going to head right onto the stage, and then we're going to come back to race commentary, because we are going to interview the main men that matter, the Chevrolet champions. We're back in just a second. And welcome back. It's been a while since you heard the dodgy phone microphone from myself, but we're going to get a quick interview with Valtteri Bottas, the main driver from Chevrolet, who have just, of course, won the Constructors' Championship. Congratulations, Valtteri. What a season. The Drivers' Championship didn't come to you, but the Constructors' Championship certainly did. Talk us through what a race it was for you.
Yeah, I mean, I broke the Chevrolet curse and I've never lost the fucking Constructors Championship while being a main driver.
Well, look, obviously, massive congratulations in order at your first season at Chevrolet. Did you envisage you'd be able to win the Constructors' Championship this season?
I mean, with Masek on the team, I was like, okay, yeah, we have a shot at winning, but I didn't know that Ducati was going to be so weak with Delinik only racing like 3 times and retiring 2 times of those.
Are you happy with finishing second position? Do you think you could have won the race?
I mean, after my disconnect, probably not.
Why do you keep disconnecting? What's the issue, do you think?
I actually don't know because it only happens while I have F1 open. I'm speaking right now to someone else who's trying to fix it. I don't know why, but it happens only on F1. No other game does this, and never when I'm just chilling.
Is it Codemaster's problem then?
I mean, I don't know because my internet always goes out in my fucking. I can see it on my fucking second monitor. My internet goes out, but it only goes out while I play F1 23, so I have no idea what the fuck is happening.
Okay. Right, well, thank you, Bottas. Congratulations to the constructors.
Thank you, thank you.
Let's get a word with Drivers' Champion Yaska.
Alright, let's see if he's willing to talk.
Hello.
Hello.
Congratulations, of course, on the Drivers' Championship Yaska. It wasn't to be in the constructors' fight tonight, but are you proud of what you've done with Ducati this season?
Thank you for congratulations. And well, I was doing my best, but without a teammate in the points, it's hard to fight for constructor championship.
Well, it was a topsy-turvy season for you, really. You've been fantastic, really, all campaign. You've been so consistent, and you finished on the podium in basically every race you competed in. Has it been the perfect season for you, and do you think you'd be able to go the extra mile and defend the title next season for the third time?
Well, I'm not sure about the next season because we're changing the game and anything can happen. And this season wasn't perfect because I didn't get every win, so it's not perfect then.
Well, thank you very much, Yasko, and enjoy your Drivers' Championship celebrations. And we'll see you for F1 24.
Yes, yeah.
We'll get the last word with Ryu Zappu.
So many people still left out.
Ryu, I never actually got to formally congratulate you on winning the TRL title.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll not talk about that, though. We can talk about that in a few weeks.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Look, decent race for you tonight. You've done 2 races in this league before now stepping into team ownership. Are you happy with what you were doing today? Are you happy with 4th place?
Honestly, I'm really happy with 4th because I only had like maybe 15 minutes of practice, and on top of that, I'm on a new wheel, so it's complete. Everything's new pedals, new wheel. Yeah, I'm really happy with P4.
What is the ambition for next season? Of course, you're owning a team now. That's always fun.
Hopefully, win constructors, and since I'll be putting myself in the team, hopefully fight for the drivers at least.
Well, congratulations, Ryu, and best of luck for the Pemex F1 team.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Let's head right back to race commentary because I need to finish up, Tim.
Sure thing.
And we're back. But Tim, only one thing to say. Hell of a season.
Hell of a season for sure. A bit of a disappointment in the last race of changes that happened, although of course the P5 fight was in the constructors was still quite impressive.
Indeed it was. Well, we will run you through the calendar for next season very quickly before we finish up tonight. And it does start in 21 days' time, the same day as the Euros start, actually. The Australian Grand Prix on the 14th of June in Melbourne. Then we head to Shanghai in China on the 21st for race 2. The final race in June is in Italy at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in San Marino. The July season starts the Brazilian Grand Prix in Sao Paulo. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is round 5. The last 2 races in July are the Spanish Grand Prix on the 19th of July and the Italian Grand Prix on the 26th of July. Only 3 races in August. We have a mid-season break after the Japanese Grand Prix on the 2nd of August. We're back 3 weeks later for the Canadian Grand Prix at Montreal. Then it is 6 races to the end of the season. Bahrain on the 30th of August. The US Grand Prix at Austin on the 6th of September, the Mexico City Grand Prix on the 13th of September, before the European season concludes the championship on the 20th of September, the 27th of September, and the 4th of October at Spielberg, Silverstone, and Spa, respectively. It's going to be a great season, Tim, isn't it?
For sure will be. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I suppose thanks are in order. Tim, it's been
Yeah.
brilliant to have you as a co-commentator for the last 9 races, and I'll be looking very forward to commentating with you in T1, T2 next season.
Yeah, same goes for you.
Well, look, that's it. It was supposed to be 8, but we ended up with 9 races in 63 days. A journey that spanned from Qatar to Silverstone, with a bit of Spa and Vegas thrown in along the way, that saw a titanic duel between some of the best drivers we've ever seen in this league. It was something that Hollywood couldn't produce, drama and plot twists along every bend in the road that gave us a 2-time undisputed champion of the league in Yasko. And when the going got tough, Chevrolet finally ended their hoodoo, winning the Constructors' title. 21 days isn't a long time, but in reality in this league, it probably seemed like forever. What a season it's been, with the ultimate finale at the home of motorsport. Thanks to Ben Buxton, AFY, and Tim once again for joining me all throughout the season, and a big thank you to you, of course, for watching as well throughout the course of the campaign. We're back for the Golden Gear Award. Please don't forget about that. That'll be a nice achievement. That'll commemorate every successful driver throughout the season. But the racing action returns on the 14th of June with 2 tiers. It's 15 weeks of racing that'll span across nearly 4 months, if you can believe it. And we hope you can join us then. As a wise man once said, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. We'll see you very soon. Good night to you all.